Donald Trump was involved in a joint press conference alongside the South Korean President Moon Jae-in.
And boy, did I crush it.
In Seoul. Today. Well,
today.
Tomorrow. Actually, they're so far ahead of us that it actually happened today, but that was almost like our yesterday.
They're very tricky people. That's how they do it.
And Donald Trump, who, of course, took some time to... I'm getting a little confused on the various different mass shootings that we've had over the past couple of weeks. But to speak up about the church shooting in Texas, but he didn't have too much time to talk about it.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've talked about wanting to put extreme vetting on people trying to come into the United States, but I wonder if you would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy a gun.
Trying to what?
Buy a gun.
Well, you're bringing up a situation that probably shouldn't be discussed too much right now. We could let a little time go by, but it's okay if you feel that that's an appropriate question, even though we're the heart of South Korea. I will certainly answer your question. If you did what you're suggesting, there would have been no difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave...
Actually, hold on for 1 second. In fact, it turns out that there would have been a difference. It appears that the Air Force messed up because this guy was dishonorably discharged from the Air Force. He should not have been eligible to get a weapon. And now we don't know for sure that extreme vetting would have done anything about that because we don't know what that is. But
maybe one of the victims could have turned out to be an even bigger killer in the future. I mean, there's just a lot of things that we can't know. And we're in South Korea. Have you ever seen one of those horror movies that these people make? They're crazy.
Okay, continue.
Difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave person who happened to have a gun or a rifle in his truck go out and shoot him and hit him and neutralize him. And I can only say this, if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead...
Pause it. My understanding is that that's not the case, is it? But that was the understanding that the president had? He's making that part up, but that's not...
I'm not sure. Let's check that.
But...
and even if it was the case, that's a 1 in...
Well,
just glad
the point is,
if
you're doing
scenario.
extreme vetting, why would that guy not have a gun? What was it in that guy's background that would prevent him from having a gun?
Well, because liberals don't want him to have guns, because he would stop a mass shooting, because sometimes mass shooters are minorities, and liberals don't want them to be stopped. Political correctness. Boom.
Go ahead.
Instead of having 26 dead, you would have had hundreds more dead. So that's the way I feel about it.
And are you
not going to help?
And are you
Pause it. Hold on for 1 second. He's suggesting that it was possible there were going to be hundreds more dead. So, like, the upshot is only 26 people died.
There was like 700 people in the town.
Yeah. Okay.
And are you considering any kind of gun control policy going forward?
When you look at the city with the strongest gun laws in our nation is Chicago. Mm-hmm. And Chicago is a disaster. It's a total disaster. Just remember, if this man didn't have a gun or a rifle, you'd be talking about a much worse situation in the great state of Texas. Thank you.
So there you have it. Donald Trump in the heart of South Korea to answer a question like this.
Every time people talk about this guy that supposedly neutralized the shooter, I think of this Gary Johnson quote.
Well, first of all, just grateful that nobody got hurt.
What was that?
I can't remember. That was a shooting. Yeah,
right.
I can't remember.
There was definitely a circumstance where somebody had gotten hurt.
Yeah.
I miss
this
Gary.
is
Remember how Gary Johnson used to get so mad too.
This was on I saw various forms of this in response to the shooting in Texas. And I got to say, like, there is such a deranged perspective on these things that I can't quite get my arms around it. But here is Fox's Ainsley Earhart and her perspective on this shooting.
Governor, you know, we've been reporting this shouldn't happen in a church, but I was downstairs talking with some people that work here that we all talk about our faith and we share the same beliefs. We were saying there's no other place we would want to go other than church, because I'm there asking for forgiveness. I feel very close to Christ when I'm there. So I'm trying to look at some positives here and know that those people are with the Lord now and experiencing eternity and no more suffering, no more sadness anymore.
Right. There's a lot of suffering and sadness, I think, that is still going to be around for the people who are around them, like maybe the parents of the grandparents of the children that were killed, and maybe friends of people. In fact, I would say the amount of suffering that's going to take place in that town of 700 people and pain is going to be immeasurable. Now, you won't go there. You won't even think about it 2 weeks from now. But the idea that somehow the silver lining is that they were in church. Hey, you know where would be a great place to get shot to death? Would also be if you were in a grave. Like maybe if they didn't, unfortunately for them, they weren't thrown into a 6-foot grave. That way you don't even need to have to deal with the whole funeral thing. And, you know, you see all this, like, I think Paul Ryan sent out, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with us. They were praying at the time.
Not good enough.
So
My
maybe
prayers are
like
much
that
better.
way they could pray, you know, like so other people could finish their prayers because their prayers got interrupted by getting shot.
They were praying the gay away, not the shooting away.
It's just unbelievable that there could be any other reaction to this than total horror that we allow stuff like this to happen on now what feels like a weekly basis, right? Like, I mean, this month, the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've had 700 people, 650 people shot in just 2 different events. More than 75 people shot dead in just 2 instances. It's just well, this one was better than Vegas because they were there and they were so close to Jesus.
Kind of trashy to get shot at in Vegas.
Not so close to Jesus that he could do something about the bullets, but close enough that it makes it better for them to be shot. So we've got that going for us, that they were close to Jesus when they were shot.
But isn't this like exactly what they have to do? They're never going to do anything about it policy-wise. So you have to create all these ludicrous nonsense
Of course,
scenarios.
of course.
It's like the only thing that you can do.
You know the great thing about those people who got shot in Vegas? They died listening to music they enjoyed. I mean, that's the way we all want to go out, right? Or those folks who died in that movie house. Like, they loved going to the movies. That's the way they wanted to go out. Enjoying a movie.
Big Batman fans.
Oh,
Big
yes.
Batman fans.
Oh, it was so great when those children were killed in their schoolhouse because they showed their love of learning. And that's the way you want to go out. Loving to learn as you're being shot to death.
I was talking to Brendan before the show, and I said, you know, the Taj Mahal would be a great place to get shot at.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Or, you know, it's also a great place to get shot. To get shot at a restaurant when you're enjoying one of your favorite foods. That's the way to go out. Having enjoyed one of your favorite foods. Or maybe when you're with your kids. That would be a great way to be shot.
You know,
Because
you're
who
hanging
doesn't
out
love
with
their
your
kids?
fucking children. You're just
Yeah.
having a good quality family time. And then boom, that's it.
So
Great
fantastic.
way to fucking go.
So fantastic.
I wish that I was with my daughter as a nanny, just admiring her incredible rack. Have you seen
Jesus
my
is-
daughter's rack?
Jesus is
Incredible.
probably sitting up there going, God bless Ainsley Earhart. She totally gets it.
Was
She totally gets it. Totally gets it. This is what I want for my flock. to be in my house of worship close to me as that bullet pierces maybe their heads, maybe their chests, as the lead rips their flesh apart, and they have a moment to recognize that all the other people with them are going to join them in heaven too. And maybe my flock, as they're watching their children get pierced by the bullets, that's what I want. I sit up here, up in heaven, and wait for these people to float up to me. And this is the way it is. No pain. This is going to be
No pain, no
This is going to
gain.
be great. This is going to be great.
Getting shot is not painful at all.
No,
No pain, no gain.
no, it's going to be great.
Secular humanist. Pussy. Cock.
Just on.
Die with her family. Go to church. Kick
Yeah.
back. Have a prayer. Shot in the head.
shot in the
Maybe not. Maybe you do. Either way, it's great.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos